Disability and the Criminal Justice System by Amrit Gurwal. Before discussing the intersection of disability and the criminal justice system, it is important to understand what it means to be disabled. According to the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, a disabled person has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities of such individual, a record of such an impairment, or being regarded as having such an impairment. The ADA was established to provide a comprehensive national mandate for the elimination of discrimination of people with disabilities. Since 2002, the United States has had the highest incarceration rate in the world. A higher proportion of its population is behind bars than any other country. For other countries around the world, the natural rate of incarceration tends to be approximately 100 prisoners per 1,000 people. However, as you'll see in the chart, for the United States, per 100,000 people, approximately 716 people are incarcerated per year. And this is according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics. People with intellectual, cognitive, or developmental disabilities get involved in the criminal justice system both as victims and suspects or offenders more often than individuals without disabilities. While those with intellectual disabilities comprise about 2 to 3% of the general population, they represent 4 to 10% of the prison population. Victimization. Individuals with disabilities are at a 4 to 10 times higher risk of becoming victims of crime when compared to individuals without disabilities. Some of the factors that increase their vulnerability to victimization include impaired cognitive abilities and judgment, lack of knowledge in how to protect themselves, living in high-risk environments, and insufficient adaptive behaviors. Often, crimes such as rape and assault are labeled as abuse or neglect, and individuals with disabilities think that how they have been treated is normal and don't realize that the victimization has occurred and it's considered a crime. And often, individuals with disabilities are unrecognized as having a disability. Although it is not proven that people with disabilities are more likely to commit crimes, they are more likely to get caught if they are involved in a criminal act. Inadequate access to treatment, housing, education, and jobs leads to individuals with disabilities to commit minor offenses such as theft or robbery to meet their basic needs. Depending on the type of disability, they may not realize the activity they are involved in is in fact a criminal offense. Especially for individuals with intellectual disabilities, there is a higher likelihood of being incompetent to stand trial as they may not understand the procedures of the criminal justice system. The likelihood of incarceration only increases with the intersection of race and socioeconomic status, as those living in poverty often resort to illegitimate means to meet basic needs such as food and shelter. As a result of inadequate treatment while they are incarcerated, individuals with disabilities face a higher risk of reoffending. This is due to the lack of access to resources to help these individuals reintegrate back into society after they are released, to find them housing or employment. Often the lack of treatment exacerbates the disability, and these individuals are entered back into the criminal justice system over and over again as they struggle to meet their basic needs. Furthermore, as police officers, lawyers, judges, officers, and other employers within the criminal justice system fail to recognize or acknowledge that the individual has a disability, these individuals tend to serve long-term sentences for minor offenses, such as theft or robbery, as they do not have the information about how the court process works and how to fight for their rights. In order for individuals with disabilities to receive equal treatment and reduce discrimination, it is necessary to advocate for numerous changes in the criminal justice system. It's important for individuals with disabilities to receive equal access to information regarding the criminal justice process and their own rights. Once they enter the justice system, it is equally important to ensure they receive adequate treatment for the disabilities and perhaps advocate for judges to consider alternative sentencing options such as enrollment in a treatment program or other community service options. Overall, there is also a need for individual case management or admission into re-entry programs after these individuals with disabilities are released, so they have the opportunity to reintegrate in society through education or employment. As social workers, one of the most important steps we can take is to raise public awareness regarding disabilities, to not only reduce the stigma around disabilities, but also to ensure individuals with disabilities are not incarcerated in lieu of receiving adequate treatment.